project competition going on. The main goal of this conference is to promote the interest and the participation of people with neurodiversity in computing domains. So what do we mean by neurodiversity? It's actually a new word. If you don't know anything about it, don't worry at all, because I believe that's the case for most people. Neurodiversity is actually defined in different ways, but the most common way to describe neurodiversity is the condition that's, happens to a lot of people. For example, people with autism, with ADHD, and actually many other different, diagnoses or self-defined, let's say, learning difficulties. So the reason why we have this event is that I believe there's a lot of work to be done. At least information is not shared as well as we want. People don't know what's on the other side of the table. People have concerns. The employers may be, having concerns about working with students on the spectrum, potentially, right, hiring them, for example. So I think this is an opportunity for us to kind of have a community event, basically, not only for people on the spectrum or with neurodiversity, but also with, neurotypical people like me. I don't have diagnosis at all, but, I think it's a good learning opportunity for the whole community as a whole. There's a lot of different participation opportunities for all of us, whether on the spectrum or not, during this event. So in this event, we feature several things. We have a coding project competition, and we have conference where the project team members can present their work. And also there will be, industry partners for the companies come on site to the conference and chat with people. Actually, everybody, right? It's not only for people with neurodiversity, but everyone, actually trying to build this conversation channel among everybody. So this venue will be hosted, like I mentioned, on October 22nd in Hyatt Regency in Orange County. John Wayne Airport, pretty close to this hotel. And if you're local, like in LA area, it's just, 1 hour drive at most, depending on where you are. The organizers and partners we have for this conference so far, the list is growing as we're getting closer to the conference day. We're actually expecting to have more partnering or, industry sponsors to come on site. But currently our biggest donor, our biggest sponsor is Microsoft. They have, as a big company and probably one of the most, companies that, have a big culture in diversity and, serving the society. They have a so-called neurodiversity hiring plan, which is basically a recruitment plan that's trying to hire the talents with neurodiversity conditions. And according to what I know, they have kind of adapted recruitment process, maybe just allowing some flexibility in terms of scheduling interview time and bring people on board. So that's what I know, but I never been through that process myself, or I hope I know more information, learn more information from them in this conference, later this year as well. But the good news is we have leadership from Microsoft deeply involved in this event. They commit their, of course, donations to us, and also they actually have the access to a large pool of domain experts, so-called, subject matter experts, to get involved in these events. So if you're interested in this event, there is opportunity for you to actually communicate and connect with, let's say, project managers or software engineers, or at different levels from Microsoft. In which way, right? When can you have access or talk with them? So I'll explain that later. And also we have so-called access computing as our another donor or sponsor. So access computing is an SF-sponsored program located at University of Washington, next to Seattle, right in Seattle. I mean, they have been there for several years already. They have excellent training and education programs for, and also networking programs for people with all kinds of disabilities, including the conditions that we just mentioned. But more than that, they also help students in the computing domain, like CS, CIS, or computer engineering majors. No matter what kind of disability you have, they actually provide excellent service there, and they're also sponsoring us. Then we have another, industry sponsor, IDEMA. So this is also a national-wide, actually international company, I would say. They have multiple sites across the globe. They're providing, equipment and services for TSA. If you go through any checkpoints, TSA checkpoints in an airport, that they're using all kinds of security machines, equipments, and they're producing those for them. So all these sponsors or partners will set up booths on the conference day. Then you can actually talk to hiring managers there or HR people over there. Then if you are a college students or community college, university or community college students on the spectrum with, let's say, HEHD, if you ever have an IEP plan when you're in K-12 stage, or you have a 504 plan, then consider yourself to be eligible to participate in this for sure. Some key dates, some important dates to look at is we're going to have the project competition for the students, so that we provide guidance and support during the whole process. You don't have to struggle by yourself and feeling no help or support. We will actually guide you through the whole process. But the starting point will be a team registration. We will enable that white page on the date of May 22nd. So if you can, find a friend with, the similar condition, or, also on the spectrum, then you guys can form a team of two and register a team to participate in the project competition. And if you feel comfortable just working by yourself, go ahead and do it. And it's definitely, a great idea as well, like if you prefer to work as a solo team. And the competition, the themes of the projects are actually, we provide 4 different themes, and we kind of expect each project to be associated with one of the 4 themes, such as, they are clouds computing, AI, machine learning, game development. The last one is AR, VR, augmented reality, and virtual reality. So within the chosen or associated theme, feel free to determine what exactly you want to do for this project, the title, the content, the group of people you serve by your product, by your projects. It's all up to you, how big or how small, how deep or, fun you want it to be. Just all up to the developers or the participants. And you don't have to finalize the project title when you register a team. You just need to let us know your basic information, the school you're associated with, and your basic information. And also your project in mind, maybe relevant to multiple themes, right? So basically you're using AI algorithms and the app or application is deployed on cloud. That means, you're qualified to register more than one themes, then so please just associate it with one theme, because there are going to be the prices, first and second, third prizes awarded in the end. And for judging purposes, it'll be good that you just tell us which category or which theme you wanted your project to be in. So that's the basic idea, like for the team registration. And there is a date when we're gonna close the team registration in June, on June 26th in particular. The reason why we have a time window about 1 month for team registration is that we want to make sure that we have all the people interested registered by a certain date so that we can start the guided project development after June 26th. So after the team registration close, we are going to have a kickoff meeting, a virtual kickoff meeting for each theme. And in that kickoff meeting, like we're going to have the domain experts, like I mentioned, either product manager or engineers from different companies talking about that particular theme. For example, they can talk about their product, their daily work, their projects. Also, they're going to share the importance and background of that theme. More importantly, they're going to share their experience in their daily work. What's the best practice happened in their daily work? Sometimes it's really hard to access those kind of sharing or information experience. Technical talks or contents sometimes are not so hard to access, but best practices at work, like team building or collaboration or all these kind of stuff, may be very valuable to you guys even. So please consider yourself, try to leverage and participate and listen to them. And all the materials are available to all the kickoff meeting for each theme are available for the for the participants, for people who have registered a team, and also for those so-called project mentors. So what are project mentors? So project mentors are people who are actually gonna monitor the process of project development, but not coding. Like you don't code as a project mentor, you don't code for the participant, but we hope that the project mentor can help with the timeline development, time management. You can suggest them, in order to finish your whole thing, then probably you need to set up some milestones or timeline for you to follow, for the participant to follow. And also we can serve as a role of more like a project manager and check with them, like follow up with them. Hey, how's it going? Do you have any questions? Do you need any help? So the help that as a project mentor provide to them could be, for example, if the students ask you, hey, I'm stuck, I have errors, bugs in my project, can you quickly take a look and tell me what could be the possible workaround or solution? Then feel free to give them that support, but don't code for them. And you don't have to worry too much about the time commitment, because we expect all the support and help happens in the format of virtual office hours. So you set probably a couple of hours per week or 1 hour per week, for example, for them, and you answer their questions during that 1 hour as a project mentor during the whole period. And I will expect a lot of the participants to use some of their previous projects. Maybe they develop for some courses, maybe they develop as a side project by themselves just for fun. There may be a lot of projects like that. That's totally allowed, and that's even better, because we always want time and effort to refine our previous work so that you can basically update your GitHub repo and show your best work possible, right, to the potential employers. So we allow that, but we don't allow participants to copy from existing, let's say, open source projects online, because there are so many of them out there. So we don't really allow them to claim others' work as theirs. And the final project submission deadline is August 26th, which is probably the first week of the fall semester. After that, there will be a judge panel organized by the committee, and we will announce the finalist projects who will be invited. The presenters and team members will be invited to actually speak, present their projects and demo their projects on the conference day. And also we will have honorable mention projects as well, and they will also be notified with the results on September 16th. And after that, people can arrange travel, can think about actually there will be another training in September for the presenters, provided by UC Irvine Health Center. So there will be experts from psychology and training programs to basically work with presenters and answer their questions, and just hopefully to help them feel more comfortable speaking in the public format to a big audience, not big, but to a group of audience in a conference. So that will be another training for the participants. And for the project mentors, we expect the project mentors to have industry experience. So if you are like neurotypical, that means you are not eligible to participate in the competition. But if you, let's say you have part-time job, like intern with some company, with some different places, then we consider that as industry experience as well. And we hope that you can consider to register as a project mentor when it's opened. So now there's the link for registering as a project mentor is not open yet, but if you think that you like this idea and you also want to see what's going on and listen to the domain experts talks, and perhaps also attend the conference on that day, November 22nd, then it's going to be a fun process, because we want this whole event to be for students, to be engaging as much as possible. So I believe there's different benefits actually for different group of people. All right, let me pause here, see if you guys have any questions you want me to clarify or ask. Or you guys are too busy to think about it. It's essentially the main activities happened in summer. It won't take you much time actually in summertime. And if you don't have too full a schedule in summer, then consider participate in this. Okay, questions? Any questions?
Dr. Chen?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of want to more clarify on the mentor portion. Yeah. So you said that you have to have like experience in the industry. So you said that an internship or internship works as well, right? So
yeah, because I know a lot of our students have part-time job in a company at the same time, right? So that's definitely a great experience for the mentor to have, so that you can share with the participants. And if you have internship in summer, like with a company, with a lab, research lab, maybe JPL, like Ricky, then yeah, so then that's great. I mean, we want like you guys to connect with each other, and that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian has a question. What's the criteria to participate, and where's it located Okay. So this is a website. So first of all, you can get more information in this website, and it's inclusivecodingfestival.org. And in here, there's an overview page. So who will be eligible to participate? So this event essentially is for promoting interest and participation of people with neurodiversity, in the computing domain. So the eligibility of the competition for the participants will be four-year university students or community college students. Because we want to connect you guys potentially with the employer, right? So if you're high schoolers, then it's not well aligned that much. But anyway, so it has to be college students. And also we will ask the participants about their neurodiversity conditions when they register. Either maybe you had Asperger's syndrome diagnosis when you're young and you feel like you already outgrow that diagnosis already, you feel great. And I mean, I would say that it happens a lot that when you change into a work environment, which is very demanding sometimes in the IT domain, then you still want to, leverage or explore all different benefits and possibilities, where people, like you can share their experience with you. And also, you can, just check out whether there are special opportunities for you. So there are actually, the answer is many big companies like Microsoft, Google, SAP, Amazon even, they have different programs like neurodiversity hiring plans, autism at work. They have all different things available for you. So we really want this event to be a platform or a venue for you to explore those availability and leverage those. So if you have, let's say, a 504 plan, like maybe you have ADHD diagnosis, then you are definitely qualified for sure. And even if you don't use the DRC service at Capella Pomona, for example, as long as you have a diagnosis before, you're definitely qualified. And there are certain other, conditions or diagnosis I didn't mention, but it's listed in here. And those are the participation requirements. You can form a team of one member or two members. If you can find another friend, to form a team with you, that's great. And also there's no cost actually involved at all. Like you don't have to pay anything to participate. And if your project is chosen to be presented on the conference day to meet with IT company hiring people, HR people or hiring managers, there's also no fee for that. And if you're local, I believe most of our guys are local in LA area, then driving to LA County, Orange County is not a too big an issue. So, but all the participation is free. So the whole day event, I didn't actually include it in the project in the website yet. So there's a list of key dates that we mentioned, and there will be multiple, supports structure. Mechanism available. Like there will be kickoff meeting, there will be project mentors, and we try to make sure that this conference is for students, like as much as possible. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Guys want to ask, wondering? So the organizers actually, how come we can have this done? Actually, it's all rely on our wonderful Capella Pomona alumni. Actually, maybe you saw some of them when they were still here, but now they're in different companies already, mostly in Bay Area and Seattle area. That's another thing I want to actually talk with you guys. Like, do you guys know, like, there's something called, I don't know, CS, whether there is something called CS Alumni Association or something in Bay Area. Like, do they actually meet?
Oh, I don't know if they meet, but I know it exists.
It exists. Okay. Yeah, that's I mean, that's definitely something we want to see. And a lot of times the alumni association organization, like they will host events and have people meet up and chat with each other. And you know, this is another thing to connect people, which is by doing things, right? If you just have a meal, then that's just 1 hour, 2 hours interaction time, right? And but volunteering for those this kind of event actually takes a long time. I mean, in terms of time span, we started planning in January, and as you can see, every month we had maybe one meeting, 2 hour, 1 hour meeting every month to plan things out. And we have a meeting with our donor and our stakeholder from industry. And that was very, very good experience for our alumni, like, I mean, the organizers, because as an early stage or early in your early career, most likely you're software engineers, and it's very important to grow your other skills, soft skills, right? So by having meetings with those, people really high up there in the leadership of a company, then you can learn how do they address problems, how do they, delegate tasks, how do they encourage people. So they're very, beneficial experience for them. Okay, so let me see for other things. Yeah, so for each theme, like we provide some basic requirements, like the requirement is minimal, I would say. To be qualified as a project in cloud computing, the only requirement is your thing, your projects or application or service have to be deployed on cloud. And for us, I know every couple of these Pomona students have credits from Azure, like $100 at least, to use for free. Maybe there are other, like Google Cloud also have incentive or credits for free. And for each theme, we also have resources. And since our biggest donor is Microsoft, so a lot of platforms or softwares that we were actually pointing to their things. But still, you're allowed to use AWS, for example. You're allowed to use other platforms such as, for AR, VR, you can use all different kinds of company services and softwares. Okay, any questions again? Or let me ask you guys, if you're free to share your idea on the chats, like, would you guys be interested in participate or being a project mentor kind of involves in this kind of event? What's your concern? Maybe time consuming, maybe, what might be your concern? Feel free.
Yeah, Dr. Chen, I guess just for everyone out there, I kind of wanted to ask for you to clarify, I guess, the like a time commitment for, because I know you talked about this when we talked before in person, but specifically, like, how much time would a mentor like have to spend on a group? And yeah, could you kind of just go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so when you we don't have that page yet, but when you register as a project mentor, we will ask you your availability. Let's say, are you available to work with one team or two teams, maybe, right? So if you know that you will be very busy in summer, then I would say just go with the minimum, like one team, right? You work with one team. And maybe, you have preference on the theme, like if you're very familiar with cloud platform or, AI, or you have game development experience, then, choose that theme that you would like to supervise the teams on. And then So it's all flexible, but for each team that you work as a project mentor, the expectation is to participate in in the kickoff meeting, because kickoff meeting, it's so beneficial not only for people with neurodiversity, but also everybody. Actually, the content is for all. So it will be very good that you raise questions to the domain experts, during the kickoff meeting, and interact with them. So kickoff meeting is expected for you to be there, and it's to be virtual. It's going to be on Zoom most likely, and it's expected to be maybe 2 hours in total, like 1 hour with the domain experts and 1 hour for pairing up with your team, I would say. So so that's the first time commitment for the kickoff meeting, and it's only once. And then after that, during 8 weeks, I believe, the timeline for teams to develop their project and also for you to supervise or mentor the project will be 8 weeks from, well, actually more than, yeah, it's going to be 8 weeks from kickoff meeting to the end. So during that 8 week, I would say just 1 hour per week per team. So if you're mentoring one team, then you just set up a Zoom meeting with them any day, like you feel comfortable. Could be evening, as long as both team member and you yourself are flexible, then you can say, hey, how about we chat every Saturday, 10 a.m., something like that. Then, you just go there, hop on Zoom, and they are going to ask you questions, and you try your best to view yourself as a project leader or project manager. Say if they don't have questions, maybe in the first couple of weeks, then you can ask them, what's your plan? Like, what's your goal for this project? And, if you have some existing project to start with, then what kind of improvement do you want to do on top of it? And you can help them develop a time management plan, because that's something you can actually grow in as well, right? And also follow up with them, like down there into the 4th week or 5th week, you can ask them, hey, how about the last time you asked me a question? Did you solve it? Or do you need me to, go through something with you? And something like that, to follow up with them, check their progress. And the main goal for the project mentor is to have them submit something in the end. That's it. No matter what they want to submit, no matter what kind of projects, how deep they worked, it's all up to them. Your goal is to make sure that they have something deliverable, something to be called as deliverable in the end. Then we consider a success of your project management or project mentor role. And like I said, yeah, just 1 hour per week. And if you don't know the answer to their question, maybe they go very deep into the technical stuff, and it's out of your experience and you don't know, you can suggest them, hey, maybe I'll suggest you to Google more on in this topic, or Stack Overflow or whatever. You can suggest them how to find their answer by themselves. And it's totally up to you if you want to spend extra time besides the 1 hour virtual office hours. Sometimes maybe their topic is very interesting and you want to know more, right? And they say, hey, I want to know like exactly what's going on here. And you may spend some time by yourself and Googling and figuring out, but it's totally optional. You don't have to do that. And besides the 1 hour office hours. Okay. Yeah, but in general, the time commitment for project mentor will be 2 hour kickoff meeting at the beginning, and 1 hour per week office hour on Zoom. That's it. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chen. And you said that this information isn't out on the website yet, but will be soon, I
Yeah.
presume.
Yeah, it will be soon. It will be ready together with the team registration. So the project mentor registration will also be open then at that time. All right. So Brian has another question. So I believe that if you have medical diagnosis associated with your condition, then definitely, we can consider that. But if you don't have medical diagnosis, not really sure, because all the existing definition we adopted from, the medical domain. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so let me stop sharing. If there's no more questions, then anything that you guys want to bring up or ask me, or anything besides this event that you want to ask me, feel free. Anything that you're curious?
Question, I'm actually a little curious. So I heard that you kind of organized the event. So what kind of inspired you to do so?
Yeah, sure. So basically, well, I started a nonprofit organization last summer. So called Spectrum is the name of the nonprofit, and for me, it's totally new experience. I never worked for nonprofit except Cal Poly Pomona, since we are also nonprofit, as a university. The reason I want to focus on, computer science education and career pathways for people with neurodiversity is because, my son is on the spectrum. He's still very young. He's 9-year-old now. But, he's about the age to maybe start considering to learn coding. And I figured, the ultimate stress, at least for me, is probably the employment in the future, many years down the road. But I know you guys are considering about employment, like finding a job, right? That's a very, very important thing, because, your life quality, your, lifestyle is pretty much impacted by your employment. So since I'm a CS major, then it's very natural for me to think about what I can do for my son and his friends, and maybe some other people with similar challenges. So yeah, that's the starting point. And I started to learn again from last summer on, what's available, right? Something that we can leverage, and we're very lucky to find the relevant people. We're working with UC Irvine Center for Autism. They have a big group there. They have so many different doctors and experts there. And also we work with other nonprofits like Autism Speaks. They have funding, and we got their grants for summer camps for younger kids. And this event, actually, it's our biggest event, since this is the ultimate, I would say, the holy grail of the whole thing. Because again, if like your job placement can be facilitated by this conference, then I would say it's definitely the greatest thing possible. And also I learned that this topic, neurodiversity, is very new and people don't know much, right? If you don't have any relative or friends having conditions at all, then you may wonder, what exactly, is that, right? What kind of conditions or struggles or challenge are there? So the one good thing of this organization or nonprofit we're running is that most of our board members are parents with people on the spectrum or with similar conditions. And also, like for the conference, for the Inclusive Coding Festival, our organizers, they're excellent. engineers. Some of them are having, a different diagnosis that we don't actually see, but they did go through different challenges by themselves, with a lot of times without support. And on the other hand, companies are struggling to find talents. Their big companies are competing with each other, trying to secure their talents, and small and startup companies are, having a hard time finding good ones. So the talents of this group of people in developing projects or coding are not fully seen by them. So we try to build a bridge for them. And I'm learning every day. Like I feel like I'm, the other day I was talking to a colleague in a department and saying, I feel like I'm a half-time professor, half-time researcher, but full-time secretary now. Like I'm processing a lot of logistics, and that's definitely, very important, but new to me. I'm still learning, but I'm really glad that I do this because I meet so many great people. So our donor from Microsoft, you guys may know, like Maria, like she has scholarship for our department students. So she is a general manager at Microsoft, and she's our alumni as well. She's very supportive, and she's definitely one of my role models to look up to. And we are super lucky to have her on board for the nonprofit and sponsoring us for different things. And most importantly, she need to hire people, not only just for people with neurodiversity conditions, but everybody essentially, right? So, with diversity, conditions, or if you're like me, you're typical, they're also looking for talents at any time. So it's good to connect with her as a general idea sometime. So she will be there in a conference. She will deliver a keynote speech for us in the conference, and there will also be other speakers from UCI, from other partners to speak in the conference, and it would be a very good experience if you show up and just enjoy social, have a good meal, and listen to some interesting talks. That would be very good. And it's on Saturday. October 22nd is a Saturday. Yeah, so that's how how I get started and end up here.
That's great. That's awesome. That's great. That's great.
Any other questions, guys? If you know anyone, let's say, and also the eligibility of participants, it's open to all majors. I would say most likely STEM majors, but if you know someone that's really good at coding, but they're not computer science, maybe they are, I don't know, CIS or sometimes engineering majors, right? They're good. They're decently good in coding. Encourage them to participate because we don't have requirements or constraints on the major. As long as they deliver decent coding projects, but the final outcome should be following one of the four themes, right? As long as they're capable, then we don't actually require them to be exactly like CS major, but open to all majors. If you know anyone, like your siblings, your friends, anyone doesn't have to be called Polypomona, doesn't have to be located in California. It's a national conference. We're open to all students nationwide, and there may be travel scholarship available at later time for them to actually come here. So just help us spread the word and talk to your friends. If you know somebody who might benefit by participating in the conference, in the competition, let them know. And I will definitely share the flyer with Ricky as soon as possible. We don't have a flyer yet because we spent our last weekend on the website development, and the flyer may be ready next week or so. And then when it's ready, then if you think flyer will be more helpful in helping spread the word, then definitely I'll share it with Ricky and everyone.
Sounds good. And then we'll share with the rest of the club and whatnot.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, any other things? Yeah, my time is free for you before I go to the next class. But if you have any question, not necessarily with this event or nonprofit stuff, if no questions, that means you guys are pretty happy, right? About your job hunting, or still, you know, because I do have students actually visiting my office hour and saying I'm totally panicking because I'm graduating next month. I don't have a job offer yet, and I have so many courses to pass, and I feel so, you know, depressed. And it's very normal, I would say. You know, just hanging there, and you guys are doing great. Okay. All right. No more things. No more stuff. All right then. Thank you. Thank you guys very much. One more time.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out, Dr. Chen. Thank you.
Sure. No problem. Okay. Bye, you guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Well.
Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Bye.
And to our members, have a good one as well.
Thank you. See you guys.